Welcome to Paths Tutorials. This is going to be the third video for Scratch Basics, and today we're going to be covering loops. So we are going to be in the control section, and you can see there's quite a few yellow blocks here. Now the first one is quite obvious. It's wait 1 second. So now we can simply use this block for basically just a timer. Now we could set this to 90 seconds, so it would wait about a minute and a half before it does something. So basically, this is just a timer. Now, the repeat block. Now, the repeat block is actually quite useful. It's a nice way to, instead of putting a block down 10 times, you can just say repeat this block 10 times. And if we basically put this inside the loop, it'll run this loop 10 times or however many times. So we could say repeat 9 times. And now we're going to have it move 90 steps. See, there we go. And it actually makes a nice running motion somewhat because it's doing one more. So this is a good way, especially for games, to make characters run by doing move 10 steps and repeating it. So that's a fun way to use that loop. Now we have the forever loop. Now this loop can get a little scary because, quite frankly, you can't put anything below it. It'll run whatever is inside it forever, or forever long you actually run your project. So if we put forever turn 15 degrees, it's basically just going to be turning 15 degrees however long this project runs. And it will not stop unless you tell it to stop. So that's what the forever loop does. It's actually quite useful in a lot of projects because you don't have to worry about running something 100,000 times. You'll just have it run as long as the project is on, or forever in this case. Now, there's the if-then loop. Now, this is actually some simple logic. It's actually going to be using some sensing and operating blocks because you can see that these blocks don't fit inside this little section that we want it to basically control our if loop. So now we're going to go into operators, and you could see an equal sign, and we're going to drag that right inside of it. And we're going to do some actually logic tests on this. So we're going to do if 9 equaled to 9, so if the number 9 is equal to 9, it'll turn 15 degrees. Now if it's not, it's just going to move on. We aren't telling it to do anything else. So we can see 9 is equal to 9, so it's actually spinning 15 degrees. You can see it turning as we click the flag. Now, if we change this number, it won't run because 9 is not equal to 8, so it will not run whatever is inside the loop. Now, this is where the if-else loop comes in handy. Now, we are going to actually grab a different block. Now we're going to do if 9 is equal to 8, it's going to turn basically clockwise 15 degrees. Now if it's not, it's going to turn counterclockwise 15 degrees. And let's actually just make this a little more dramatic to make it more visible. Now we're going to set those to 100. Now because 9 is not equal to 8, it'll actually automatically go to else. So we can see it is turning counterclockwise. Now if we say if 9 is equal to 9, it'll turn the other way because 9 is equal to 9. So that is the if-else block. Now, there are two other blocks that are actually quite useful too. There's the repeat until block. 9 is equal to 7, and we're going to have it just turn. So basically, this one is actually quite useful for variables that we're going to go over in the next video, but right now, just know that it'll actually keep running what's inside the loop until this is equal to that. And variables will help those numbers, so it won't always be a constant. So that's the majority of the loops. And the last one is actually clone. And we could see by throwing that out, when clicked, create a clone of myself. Now, a clone is basically creating a replica of itself. So it's going to create exactly what it looks like, just another thing. And we could say, if we actually add our other loops that we did, we're going to say when the flag is clicked, it's going to create a clone of myself. It doesn't delete its original sprite. It's just creating a clone, basically a duplicate of itself. And we're going to say the original one's going to turn basically 150 degrees, repeat 10 times, turn 15 degrees clockwise. Now this other one, when I start as a clone, basically we're telling the clone what to do, because the clone's not following the original one's instruction. So now when it starts as a clone, we're going to do repeat 10 times, turn counterclockwise. Now, we should be able to tell the differences between these, because one, the original one's going to be spinning clockwise, whereas the clone one is going to be spinning counterclockwise because we told them to do different things. So now when we click the flag, let's actually just separate it a little bit. They're going in. Okay, so what's happening is that wherever the original one is, it's going to create a clone right on top of itself. So we're actually going to add the go-to. We're going to say -100, y0, and this other one, we're going to tell it to go to x100, y0. So we're telling him to go to different places. So here we go. Now we have to see, actually, let's change the repeat to a little more so we can tell. There we go. Now we're going to click the flag. So now we could tell this right here is the clone. Because look, when we click the flag, it's spinning counterclockwise. Whereas this one is spinning clockwise. Plus we could tell because we told the original one to go to x -100, which is over here, and this one's going to x100. So that's how we tell the differences between the clones. So that's the basic of the actual control or loops, and in the next video we're going to be going over data or variables.